My husband has this best friend, Anna. They've been friends for a long time and dated years ago, mutually deciding that it's best for them to remain friends. I've had no problem with this relationship until now. On the day that I gave birth, Anna's brother got into a car accident. My husband got a call from her in the middle of the night and asked him if he could drop her at the hospital her brother was at, an hour away from us, since she was too scared to drive. My husband agreed, told me quickly while I was half asleep and rushed out. A few hours later, I had contractions and called my husband. He didn't pick up after multiple tries, so I gave up and called my dad, who drove me to the local hospital, 12 minutes away. I was so scared of giving birth alone since I've had about 3 miscarriages and 1 stillborn. My husband promised me that no matter what, he'd be there for me. Guess what? He wasn't. We called multiple times while I was in labor, and when he finally picked up my dad's call when I was giving birth, saying that he'd misplaced his phone in the chaos, my dad informed him that no matter how fast he drives anymore, he's going to miss the birth of his child. Well, my husband took that as he's already screwed up, so it doesn't matter when he shows up at this point. So when he finally came, our daughter was about 5 hours old and I'd already moved to the maternity ward. When he came, I refused to let him see our baby. Edit. Did let husband hold and play with baby after discharge, because I was so high on emotions and was shaking when I saw him and didn't want it negatively affect my time with the baby. I wanted her birth to be a happy time and I was already struggling to feed her. My husband was in a bad state and told me to please let him see her, so I told him to stand by the window and held the baby up so he could see her. I told him to then leave and he'll be allowed to interact with the baby at my father's home when we're both well and out of the hospital, and that I was most likely divorcing him. He started bawling and apologizing and defended himself by saying that Anna's brother was in serious critical condition, and although he's fine, Anna needed him. Though Anna's parents were there, she's not that close with them and she was in an unbearable state. I told him that I didn't care and that his daughter has already come second to him and all she did was be born. I'm putting my daughters and my health first and won't let her be sidelined. My husband agreed and left. However, Anna called me later and said that I was being controlling and she'd never met someone as cruel as me for not letting a father see his baby. I told her that my husband made his decision and that this was his doing, not mine. But now, I can't help feel cruel in my actions and feel like I'm depriving my baby of both her parents being together. My husband sees her a few hours each day now. Ida? Edit 1. I feel like this is useful information and could explain why I was so mad. Anna's brother was not in a life/death situation. He had serious injuries, but most were concentrated on his legs and arm. He did have a concussion but gained consciousness soon. Anna was there along with both her parents who managed all the hospital stuff. My husband was there as an emotional support for Anna. I did let my husband see our baby, right after I got discharged. Edit. Husband saw baby, husband held baby, husband played with baby. I wanted a couple days of rest and bonding with the baby since my emotions were so high and I was afraid if my husband was a continuous presence, I'd get stressed and something bad would happen. I told him as such. They spend time together, but I'm still cold with him. I may still be the asshole, I don't know, but I'm still so mad at him, and it's not the first time he put Anna before me. I can forgive the other time since I could handle it, but this time was the straw. I was so scared to hold my baby because I was paranoid the minute I touch her, something would happen to her and no one was there to comfort me. I only had my dad, but he wasn't in the delivery room, which is why I'm not too keen on forgiving my husband. Also, we both knew the baby was due any time now, so I don't understand why my husband didn't have his phone on him. We even tried reaching out to Anna and she didn't pick up either. After he learned I was giving birth, they already knew that Anna's brother was going to be alright. He spent that time making sure that Anna was okay and feeding her and then waiting for the brother to regain consciousness. He could have come back after seeing his daughter to talk with the brother. He would have made it back in time. Edit 2. So many of you got it wrong. I'm not preventing him from ever seeing his baby, that is stupid and unreasonable. He literally saw her about a day later when we were discharged and safely at my dad's home. He already didn't see her for 5 hours on purpose and put Anna first. I didn't think an additional day would make much of a difference. And it wasn't to him. He was happy to see the baby and he spends time with her all the time. She's 2 months now. And also, I'm not mad about the fact he went to see Anna. I'm mad that he didn't think we were a high priority to rush back to. He left me so quickly in the middle of the night when I was already late. He couldn't have left Anna in the care of her parents and rushed as soon as possible? She's not a child and she doesn't have any mental health issues either. Edit 3. So sorry for all the edits. But someone just messaged me this. What if my baby was born a stillborn again? He had no way to know since he and I didn't have any contact after I gave birth. Thank the stars, my baby is healthy and well, but it was a possibility. Comments. Queen_Aurelia. NTA. Let's ignore the fact that he ran to her rescue in the middle of the night while you were that far along in your pregnancy. Any decent husband would make sure to have his phone on him 24/7 when not at home with a wife about to give birth. As soon as he found out you were in labor, he should have rushed to be with you. He chose Anna over you and your daughter. He missed the most important moment in your lives to be there for her. Then he called Anna to complain to her about you. I am not a jealous person, but there is no way I would tolerate his behavior and his obvious putting Anna before you. I would seriously be considering divorce as well. Marriage counseling at a bare minimum. I would also be concerned about his feelings/relationship with Anna. Juliana, I absolutely cannot get over him calling and complaining to Anna and telling her about this. 5115E, NTA all these excuses about his phone totally miss the point. He shouldn't have been running off to support Anna at all. She was supposed to be there to support her parents and brother, she didn't need your husband to support her. You had already suffered 3 miscarriages and your husband chose to prioritize Anna's over his actual wife. And then he decided that his screwing up by not being there for you was an excuse to just stay with Anna? Anna called me later and said that I was being controlling. This really takes the cake. In what universe is it appropriate for her to call and scold you? The fact that she felt it was okay for her to get involved tells you that they are much too emotionally enmeshed for your marriage to survive. Get your life in order and leave them to each other. Abundant monkeys, he's a real piece of work for crying to Anna about it too. Especially since he knew his relationship was already at stake. They're clearly having an emotional affair and are probably fucking as well. Plain Jane Lane 03, NTA. I'll say it, they're having an affair. There is no reason he should have left your side. She could have called a taxi, she could have Ubered. Always trust your instincts. BTW. The fact that he went back to her after his argument with you tell me all I need to know. Deleted, he didn't go back to her, but he called her. I don't blame him for driving her. I don't even blame him for missing the birth if he was on his way over knowing that he'd be late. The fact that he chose to stay about 5 hours with Anna and not see his baby, showed me that seeing his baby was second priority to Anna. If seeing his baby was so important to him, he would have came to see him. Which is why at first I thought it wasn't cruel to let him not see his daughter for another day or so, since he already missed so much. Plain Jane Lane 03, none of this is your fault. You don't have to be rational after giving birth, after you just put your body and hormones through so much trauma. And you had to do it alone. Anna's brother didn't. He had both of his parents, his sister, and his sister's best friend. You had your dad who wasn't even in the room with you. I don't think you're wrong for reevaluating your relationship with this man. If he's not cheating, then he has to be the most idiotic man alive. Let him have a relationship with his daughter, but he's proved himself useless to you. Update, thank you everyone for your replies. I think that I was an asshole for using my child against him and should have told him that he could hold and then asked him to leave. So the divorce is probably going to happen. My brother is looking at lawyers for me. In the midst of this whole mess, this post made me realize I never checked on Anna's brother to see how he's healing because I was so irked by Anna. I called him and he said that he was doing well and will be out of his wheelchair soon. He asked about me and the baby and how I was doing with the split and if I was okay with my husband and Anna. I can't believe I was so oblivious. I thought they had an emotional thing going on because of this, and when I confronted my husband, he denied it and said me and our baby were his priority and he made a mistake and he was being dumb. Yay no, Anna's brother kindly informed me that he and Anna's parents thought that my husband and I split when I was 7 months pregnant and that Anna and him were back on. He showed up at the hospital as Anna's boyfriend, which is why they didn't bat an eye that he was there and not with his pregnant wife. Because apparently we split. Her brother's procedures were done well before the afternoon, so I don't know that my husband and Anna were doing for all those hours, but I don't even want to know. If you want more details, I can answer in a comment. Thanks everyone for your kind words and advice. I will be moving back home and filing for full custody. I don't want my baby growing up to be like her father or Anna. He can be fun dad or whatever it is he wants to be. Last edit, I think I'm going to be taking a break from Reddit now because ranting on the internet doesn't seem healthy. Thanks everyone for their support. I'll take it from here. Comments, Pear_Melon, his wife has multiple miscarriages and a stillbirth, and he still decides to have an affair and miss his child's birth. And his affair partner decided to call his wife and complain about how mean the wife is to her poor misunderstood spouse? G1 Gestalt, yep. At first, I wasn't going to make a Baru post out of this because the story is relatively simple and familiar. But the more you think about it, the more you realize that this guy and his side piece are exceptionally terrible people. FFS, the guy took off in the middle of the night for a booty call even though the baby was like a jack-in-the-box that was ready to pop out at any moment, got countless calls that his daughter was being born, knowing that Oop might have to face a stillbirth alone, but still decided that wasn't important enough for him to finish getting his dick wet. That is one remarkable pos. Don't 139, to think that he didn't check if his child wasn't a stillborn for 5 hours is the most insane part. This person does not care about anything other than his own pleasure. I'm adding to the list of people whose grave deserve to be pissed on. I'm a have to drink a lot cause that list is getting longer with each post. Huya Falca, I did a screenwriting course once, many years ago. One of the things that we were taught about drama was to write the story/scenes to deepen the drama, like, you have placed your characters in the worst situation imaginable, and then you have to crank it, make it worse, take it to the apotheosis of terribleness. This poor woman's story does just that. God, I wish her and her baby the best. What a truly terrible man. Phase Step, Life 101, 1. Anyone who emotionally relies on your spouse that much is bad news. Rushing out in the middle of the night with barely a bye? Bad news. 2. Anyone who thinks you're being the big meanie when they're the one who is unreachable for literally no reason is bad news. Poor woman, I hope she finds someone who rocks her world one day and shows her what love actually is, cause this as swipe sure didn't. 48 Pink Rose, especially when your wife is about to have a baby. Doubly so when she's had several miscarriages / stillbirths and is terrified of giving birth alone. Dude didn't even pause going out the door. Now on to the next story. Story 2. Chose our daughter's child's birth over our twins' graduation. Now they're giving us the silent treatment and called us trash parents. We're trying to make it up to them but nothing's working. My husband, 48M, and I, 47F, have 3 wonderful children, twins, 18M and 18F, and an older daughter, 25F. Recently, we were faced with an incredibly difficult situation and now our twins are very upset with us. We are genuinely torn and wondering if we made the wrong decision. Our older daughter was due to give birth around the same time as the twins' high school graduation. As fate would have it, she went into labor on the exact day of the graduation ceremony. This was our first grandchild, and our daughter was understandably anxious and wanted us by her side. We made the tough call to be there for her, thinking that we could make it up to the twins later. We did inform the twins about the situation, hoping they would understand, but they were clearly disappointed. Since then, they've been giving us the silent treatment and have been ignoring us completely. They've been going out together, buying food for themselves, and even celebrating their graduation without us. It's heartbreaking to see them so hurt and distant. They aren't speaking to their sister either, which makes the situation even more painful. Our son bluntly told us that he values us and his sister more than a baby who has its whole life ahead while the graduation is a once-in-a-lifetime event. He also warned us not to try talking to his sister, saying she wouldn't bother giving trash parents the satisfaction of a response. I've noticed that my husband is deeply affected by this. He tries to stay strong, but I can see the pain in his eyes every time the twins ignore him or make hurtful comments. He's suggested we spend the entire week spoiling them with gifts and special outings to make it up to them. We thought maybe we could do something special to show them how much we care and to celebrate their achievements in a different way. Unfortunately, this idea didn't seem to bridge the gap either. We're genuinely at a loss and filled with regret. We thought they would understand the importance of both events and that we could celebrate their graduation later in a special way. But seeing their reaction, we can't help but wonder if we made a grave mistake. So, Ida for skipping our twins' high school graduation for the birth of our grandchild? We are deeply saddened by the rift this has caused in our family and are desperately seeking advice on how to mend it. Comments, Corgi Huntress, ETA, after seeing Op's comments, it sounds like they could easily have had at least one parent attend the graduation, and that the elder daughter went into labor and they completely dismissed the twins from their minds. I'm also guessing from the twins' reactions that the parents make a habit of putting the twins second or third or last. Uda info, why didn't at least one of you go to the graduation? Did your daughter have a husband or boyfriend there? Why couldn't you have left long enough for the graduation? Was she in serious labor by that time? To clarify, our daughter's boyfriend left her when he found out she was pregnant. When she went into labor, we both rushed to be with her and, in the moment, we weren't thinking straight. We were overwhelmed and wanted to support her through the birth of her first child. Looking back, we realized that one of us should have gone to the graduation. It was a major oversight on our part, and we deeply regret it. We were so focused on being there for our daughter that we didn't consider the impact our absence would have on the twins' important day. We know we are the assholes in this situation, and we're trying to find a way to make it right. Amazing Maple, Uda. Both of you. Talk about favoritism. Op, I know it seems like it, but we really don't have favorites. We both love our children equally. We were dumb and made a decision on the spot, and we regret it a lot. Falling in top polka dots. Was your eldest daughter literally giving birth while your twins were having their graduation ceremony? You couldn't have gone to see them graduate and then go to your eldest daughter's side? Does your eldest daughter have a significant other, the baby's father, a best friend that was also with her while she labored? Kind of crappy of her to not realize it's her sibling graduation and insist that you attend. You could have stayed in contact over the phone. One of you could have gone and one of you could have stayed and FaceTimed the ceremony. You could have asked someone to live stream the graduation. To just not go at all if there was a way you could have, while also making sure your eldest was not alone would def make Uda in my eyes. Sis, too. Though I get she may not have been thinking her clearest. Squiddos, Uda. Even though it was unintentional, you basically just showed your twins that your elder daughter is more important to you than they are. This was a once-in-a-lifetime event for them both and you chose to be elsewhere. Labor takes a long time, usually. You could have told your older daughter that the family would be there after the graduation, or one of you, either yourself or your husband, could have gone to the hospital while the other went to the graduation. Instead, your twins were likely some of the only people who had no one there supporting them during this important occasion. It's going to take a long time before you will even come close to making this up to them. Update. First of all, thank you to everyone who read and responded to my original post. It blew up far more than I expected, And I appreciate all the honest feedback. I want to start by saying that my husband and I love all our children equally and never intended to hurt our twins. Lost sight of how important the twins' graduation was. We made a rash decision, and it was a terrible mistake. To address a common question from the comments, the reason we were in such a hurry to get to our daughter's labor is that when I was pregnant with the twins, I had a miscarriage scare. The fear and anxiety from that experience still haunt me, and when our older daughter went into labor, those emotions came rushing back. We were terrified something might go wrong, and we felt an overwhelming need to be with her. After reading the comments on my original post, I showed my husband what I had written and the responses we received. He was deeply affected by the feedback and agreed that we needed to apologize sincerely. We decided to have a family meeting. It was one of the hardest conversations we've ever had, but it was necessary. We apologized to our twins, expressing our deep regret for missing their graduation and for the pain we caused them. My husband, with tears in his eyes, admitted that we made the wrong choice and asked for their forgiveness. I followed, echoing his sentiments and apologizing for not being there for them during such an important milestone. The twins were understandably still upset, but they listened. Our son spoke up, saying that while it will take time to heal, he appreciated our apology. Our daughter expressed how much it hurt to feel like they were second place but said she was willing to work towards rebuilding our relationship. They both ultimately accepted our apologies. We are planning a special celebration just for them, inviting their friends and other family members who supported them. It wasn't a replacement for the graduation we missed, but it was a step towards showing them how much we care. This experience has taught us a valuable lesson about priorities and communication. We are deeply sorry for the pain we've caused, and we hope that with time and effort, our family can heal and grow stronger from this. I'm sorry hurting my two precious babies, and thank you Reddit for being brutally honest.